What's up, folks? Good morning. We're on the air with VA3EWV on this Thank God It's Friday edition of On the Air with VA3EWV. We're going to be getting started in about 2 minutes there. We're going to be on VA3SVC. VA3SVC. That's at 147.180 with a tone of 110.9. Today we're going to be testing our national calling frequency, deciding on a frequency that we'll all get on if all heck break loose, having some fun, getting ready for the weekend, and all that stuff. So I hope you guys join us in 2 minutes there on the air with the VA3EWV. So get the cameras all set up and stuff, do a sound check. Yesterday I was talking like I was on one of those Asian movies where they were over voiceover, you know, so you see the people's lips move, then you'll see them say something. Yeah, that was me yesterday. The sound was off big time. So funny. So who's on the air with us today? I see somebody watching, but it doesn't tell me who's watching. So who is watching? I can't tell who the person is watching, but I know you're watching. What up? Good morning. We got 1 minute till go time. And we're going to be on the air. Excuse me. Okay, let's get the camera turned around here. All right. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock. We're going to get started. This is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor, VA3EWV, Ernest. Any party traffic? Nothing heard. This is On the Air with VA3EWV on the TGIF Friday. Thank God It's Friday edition as we go into the weekend. This session is being live streamed or recorded. It may not be, but I'm just want to say that every time I get the mic. Anyway, we're here on this beautiful Friday morning, November 3rd, 2023, 8:01. It is 7 degrees outside, up from yesterday's 0 degrees. It is 50% humidity, which is the lowest I've seen in over a month. We have 25% chance of precipitation, not participation as I always say it is, with a high of 11 and a low of 5 here in St. Andrews West. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of daylight today as well, hopefully. That'll be good for my solar panels and stuff like that. We're going to get started doing check-ins. Yesterday, we ended our day trying to test out the national calling frequencies and stuff like that. We had some success with it. Have to do a little tweaks and modifications, and we're going to continue that today. Anyway, this is On the Air with VA3EWV doing check-ins. Looking for our first one. Please come now.
VA3KCV. VA3FZ.
Anyone else out there this morning before we start our round robin? Okay, nothing heard, and good to hear you in there, Ed. I hope your voice is feeling better today. We'll see you in a second there. VA3KCV, what's the weather like in your area there? Over.
calm.
It is raining
It's
a little bit.
overcast. Certainly not the picturesque that it was yesterday morning. Over.
Yeah, when you said that, I'm lucky enough in my shack here that I have the window right beside me. And I looked out the window earlier and I saw nothing. And right now I do see a little bit of water on the window there. So it must have just had a little sprinkling coming out there. Thank you for that weather report at your area. Let's move on over there to VA3FZ. Are you feeling a little better today? Go ahead there, Rob.
Good morning, Ernest. Good morning, Rick. Yeah, we're doing better today. Probably don't sound great, but in general, gonna have decent night's sleep. And yeah, we're at work again today. We're kind of not very busy because of the weather. They're waiting to see what it's gonna do. Looks like it'll take a few hours to pass over, and then it should be good after that. And then we're gonna get ready for the weekend. And back to you, Ernest. VA3EWV.
Today always reminds me of that song, Everybody's Working for the Weekend. So I'm going to quit my day job there and go into singing there. Come on. Anyway, thank you both for being out there this morning. And you're sounding a lot better than you were yesterday. Yesterday you had that whistle while you work thing going on there. I could hear it in your voice. I'm not laughing about it. I'm just saying you could definitely hear that you had a whistle in your voice there. So it's very early now, only 8:04. We're on SVC. I do have the national calling frequency in my radio there that I'm monitoring because I was really good at that yesterday, getting all that done. I've had lots of practice working on that since it's the first time I got it working. VA3KCB, are you monitoring that PGC frequency? Over.
Yes, I am, Ernest. I've got it on PTC also. But unfortunately, today I'm on the portable, the walkie-talkie, and it doesn't have dual watch. It has dual watch, but I can't hear what's on the other channel. Unfortunately, I'd have to be looking at the portable to see if someone else is talking.
No problem. Well, almost. Thank you for that too, and thank you for letting me know what that you're on the portable there. None of that stuff is actually important until you're starting to, really talk on the radios and use simplex and all that stuff like that. Because, I can rarely tell what anybody's on when you're working through repeater. I think it comes into play when you're doing simplex, because if you're home, that's one thing. If you're home on a rubber ducky, that's one thing, There are repeaters that I can't even key up with my bell thing with a larger rubber ducky antenna on it in the house. But if I go outside and stand right outside my window of my shack, all of a sudden I can hear those people. Key up some repeaters, not all, but some, right? So it's all about that. Thank you for that, Rick. Just a quick question, though. Did you were you able to program any of the national calling frequency in your handheld? Over.
Actually, I did not. I was occupied with other projects yesterday, and to be fully truthful and honest, I totally forgot about it until you just started talking about that, and I went, oh shoot, that was something. When you walk around the house, and you're supposed to do something, you can't remember what you're supposed to do. Well, that's what happened yesterday.
I hear that, yeah. No, this is not, look, let's be honest, this is nothing that I ever think of. The only time I ever thought of the national calling frequencies was when I was wanting to get the wife to make me something for the car, right? And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to have that set up? And I know I had saw another ham with that on the back of their truck. And I was like, what is that? And he giggled, these are people with advanced license, been licensed for 1,000 years. It's just like saying, what is that? And you're like, that's the left and right blinkers on the back of the car. But anyway, he said that's what that was. So I have that on the back of my car. And I actually used that yesterday going toward Ottawa, called out on both UHF and VHF, did not get anybody. But when I went to that favorite repeater that I tell everybody about, that's in Camp Fortune there, I was definitely talking to people again, en route to Ottawa, back from Ottawa, and that repeater has some good coverage. That VE2, let me see which one it is here again. VE2CRA out of Old Chelsea, Quebec, 146.940. That thing has some reach. Anyway, FZ, over to you now. Anything particular you're going to be doing for the weekend?
I have stuff to do, but I'm not sure. I got a chicken coop that I got to kind of winterize so that the chickens can have somewhere to play during the day.
Oh.
Without snow. So I got half done. I got that to do, and then I'm waiting for an antenna, VHF, UHF from Radio World. And I bought a Chinese version of the same thing with the same specs, so I'm waiting to see if it's as good as the one from the diamond one from Radio World. I'm suspecting it's not, but you never know. If it's okay, then I'll keep the Chinese one as well, because you can never have enough antennas, right? So I said I'll have that to play with, and then I'm sure there's some other projects that I can get around to. Back to you.
You definitely have me giggling there when you said it's you can definitely not have enough antenna. Hey, by the way, do you have a tri-band radio? A 220 radio by any chance?
No, I don't. I actually, until you started your gig on here, making noise in the morning, I never had a dual band radio or a UHF radio other than them Baofeng handhelds. So I found myself at a loss, so I had to get some of those. So I managed to get this used one. It was on the VA3EWV, the FT8800, which I've only yesterday figured out how to program it efficiently and reprogram the whole thing, because it was a kind of a mess and didn't have what I wanted in it. And then I have a couple of those Anytones that I kind of like. I don't think they have the filtering like these Japanese radios do, but they work. The 220 thing, I don't think there's enough activity on there that I know of to warrant spending the money on it. You know what I mean? Back to you.
That's a big QSL on that. Hey, I want to just let everybody know that VA3EWV is on the air. Well, he's on the air listening in from Facebook there. He says good morning to everybody. That's Michael out there saying good morning to everybody and wishing everybody a good weekend. So we have a couple out there that are with us on Facebook because we don't have access at the moment to the Echolink or the AllStar or link right now. Because like you said, you hit the nail on the head. I've been told by several people, let me roll this right quick. I've been told by more than 8 or 9 people actually that there was only, maybe a key up here, a key up there, as somebody was en route to meet with someone, that was once, maybe twice a week. The key ups on Monday night, and then the repeaters are silent for the rest of the time. But everybody, all those people were on HF though. They're doing their FT8s and they're doing their other stuff on all the HF bands, right? It's not until a new group of new hams came along that don't have HF privileges that started messing around with the local repeaters and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I can definitely understand why nobody had any of that equipment, because they weren't being used because everybody else had HF stuff, eh?
Yes, exactly. So unless there's a big need for it, the 220, like I don't have an antenna for it and I don't have a radio for it, so that's probably a good $500-600 I would think to get onto that band. So, or not that. Yeah, that's what I mean. Anyways, I'll stick with this for now.
Amen to that. Well, with that being said, everybody, it is 8:13 a.m. on this TGIF Friday with On the Air with VA3EWV on our local rag tube. We've had check-ins so far from VA3KCB down by the riverside, VA3FZ, trying to recover from a cold, seems like, VA3MJW, with us on Facebook watching live there. Is anybody else want to come in and say a quick good morning or join the rag tube? Please come now. VE3ARF. Good morning, Rob. How you doing today, over?
I can't hear this repeater. It's just choppy and horrible. So I'll say 73. I'm on my road here. So talk to you guys later. VE3ARF.
Roger that. Sorry to hear about that, Rob. We're trying. This is the 2 meter time. We're trying to get something going out there. It's going to be a little touch and go. But we'll see how it goes. Good to have you check in, though, nonetheless. And, sometimes when you're closer in, we might be able to do a little more rag chewing. You have a good rest of your day, though, Rob, and a good rest of your weekend if we lose you out there. VA3EWV, return. Okay, we've had another check-in there, VA3RF. He's outside. Rob is usually mobile. We have about 3 or 4 people that are mobile usually in the morning. And so we're trying to get our feet wet and see how this works, this particular repeater. I was using the Bonneville site not for one reason, because it's right by my house. When the fall comes, I can actually see the Bonneville repeater from my yard once all the leaves are gone and stuff like that. So I can pop into that with the handy talkie. And that Bonneville repeater has, that Bonneville site has our APRS mode on it, VE3PGC-1, 144.390. So I use that APRS a lot. It also has VE3VSW 442.200 and VE3PGC 4043.650. So those are pretty good there. It's a lot of elevation on it, I was told. And we'll see how that goes as we try to transition to something else while those things are being updated there. Anyway, we have 4 check-ins so far. Looking for number 5. Could that be you? VA3EWV on the side. I hum a lot. I need to stop humming. Okay, nothing heard. This is just a comment for VA3FZ. No, there's not a lot of use of the 220. There's a couple of fellows that use it on here to get back in touch with each other. I key it up at least once a day and say my call sign and stuff like that. Because I have a 220 radio, handy talkie. Well, actually, I have 3 radios with 220 on it. I was gifted a UV5R from VA3 Echo Victor, and then as well as an Echolink 220 radio only, and that sucker, she puts out there. She gets out really good. I have that permanently mounted in my car. So if I'm going somewhere, I think I can get 30 watts out of that radio. I haven't put it on the SWR meter to see the wattage, but I think it's 30 watt radio. And I have so then he thought I was using the 220. Also, I always try to test it on the Monday night with the local club there. I try to test 220 with everybody that has it. And then he called me back over and he said, hey, let me do a trade up, because I don't use it. So then he gifted me a Baofeng UV5R3 that has 220 on it. So now I have the HT with 220, the standalone portable with the 220, and then my Anytone here that has 220 in it, but it only does 5 watts. So yeah, for the use of it, you know, and like you said, around $500, with the use that we have around here, it's not worth investing into that at the moment.
That's right. Some people like it. That's why it's there, obviously. But yeah, I don't. Like I say, I don't have a just reason to spend the money on that one for now.
Yeah, the only reason I was asking that question, I had bought the Diamond X50, I think it was, and it was a really good antenna. I got that antenna thinking it was a tri-band antenna. That's what I was told, but it wasn't. It never worked for me that good, so then I wound up upgrading to a tri-band antenna from Renee there in our club, and I've been happy with it ever since then. And then I sold my dual band there to a friend, VA3EWV's friend. I don't know if he ever got it up yet, but I sold it. And that's something that you can do really quickly with all these new people getting in and people getting back into the hobby. I actually, before I even knew what I was doing, I was gifted a lot of stuff from the late Art there. And since a lot of stuff was given to me, I've moved it along. So I've given away. And I don't wish I'd have kept it because I'm glad it's got a good home. But I didn't know what I had, right? So this guy had given me a 2-meter metal antenna, aluminum antenna. And it was weird looking, right? And I didn't know anything about it. You know, and before I could, I didn't even have a radio to put on it when it was given to me. Anyway, I gave that thing away to a friend in Ottawa, and they're just happy with it. And then I was like, man, but I'm glad that he's on the air and back talking. Anyway, let me just roll this right quick. I also want to come back and just do a 5-second pause to see if there's any traffic or anything like that, since this is the closed main repeater. I don't want to tie it up if somebody's trying to use it. So we'll pause for 5 seconds there and see if it needs to be used for any club use. Okay, nothing heard. We're going to move it right along here. We are almost at the half-hour point there. I really like the other repeater because every 15 minutes, I think it was 15 minutes, or maybe it was every 12 minutes or so, it would identify and it would keep me on track because it would identify the 15, the 30, the 45, then the top of the hour. So it'll let me know what was going on. Anyway, we've had check-ins this morning. 4 check-ins, looking for number 5. Could that be you? VA3EWV listening. Net recognizes Dean, VA3BS. Good morning, Dean. How are you? And do you have all of your fingers and toes? Come on.
Say that again, Ernest. I have to turn the other guys down.
I was asking if you had all of your fingers and toes this morning. Go ahead. Did you get them?
Yeah, I got all my fingers and toes. I've given up for the day. So we ran into another complication, so we're not doing it.
Oh, that's bad to hear, but you know that's a part of it. I think that if we can't get anything working right, you know I think that's a part of ham, right, or radio. Period. There's always some piece of equipment or something that you're supposed to not be able to get to work right, and it keeps you going and keeps you trying to get it going. So I think you guys are on the right path there. Then when you finally get it up and running, it's going to be a good day. So you're there with the buddies this morning, eh?
No, nobody's here. That's it. We're about ready to pack it all up and put it in a box and ship it back to them. But anyways, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep plugging away. But
Dean, it's always a pleasure for you popping in. Let's get back to your group there. Tell the guys that said hello, especially Mars there. And y'all have a good rest of your day. VA3BS, this is VA3EWV, and we'll say our goodbyes. Oh, that was great.
I'll say hello to Marsh and Cliff for you. I'm talking to them now. Okay, we'll catch you later. 7-3 VA3BS.
Yeah, I love that. Those guys get on Skype and stuff like that. I was listening to a video, everybody that's listening out there now. I was watching a video, I watched lots of them this morning about AllStar and all that. And a guy made a comment about there are people that just like to communicate. So he wasn't, oh yeah, it was, I was watching the AllStar node thing because I got to get that up and running, hopefully before Sunday. I've contacted some folks in the States there that sell these things pre-assembled. And I was so happy to know that you don't even have to have, what do you call it, advanced with that. It's just like a hotspot. So if you purchase a hotspot, you don't have to have any fancy licensing or anything, because they have hotspots for DMR, they have hotspots for C4FM, they have hotspots for Echolink, you name it, they have it. So I was like, yay! But for a lot of the stuff that they sell for these things, they sell them to you in kits because everybody wants the kit to put together. And it's like 4 or 5 pieces, and you just get it, and you assemble it yourself, and I guess that's good. And I'm like, why don't they just put it together, right? But I guess in the big scheme of things, it's probably less costly for the person who's making them to just stamp everything out, throw it in bags, and it's kind of like building model cars, right? There's no fun getting a model car already assembled. The fun part is putting it together, and then one door is crooked, then the other one's straight, and then you lost a piece that dropped on the floor you couldn't ever find. I think that's the fun in it. Anyway, let me unkey this thing and see if anybody else wants to talk. We've had 5 check-ins this morning looking for number 6. Could that be you? VA3EWV listening. All right, so we got Rick out there checking in. He's listening. We appreciate you always listening out there, Rick. And we'll let you get back to working in your shack there. Okay, I'm going to take a pause because I'm only practicing. This is me practicing to be a good net control. Are there any comments or out there anybody want to share anything? Please come now.
Oh, I have comments too.
Okay, net recognizes VA3 Echo Victor. Go ahead with your comment there first, Rick, and then we'll go over to you, FZ. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, Ernest, write down on a piece of paper, roll over, and on the side, put big lines through them, and that would help. By the way, if you ever heard of piece kick, my father-in-law put together I think it was an FT101, which was a full-side band rig, and he put every component in that thing, and I forget how many, whatever it was, but that's a real kit. That means that there's not little fractions there. You basically put every capacitor and every resistor and every other component into that radio, and it actually works.
See that? Yeah, that is a real kit. I've passed pictures of things like that in old magazines that I saw on Facebook and stuff that some of these ham clubs have posted out there. And yeah, you got the box thing, and it's like the such and such and such and such, and it has, what I think is so great about it, a lot of these things you usually see them put pictures of females on. So this particular one I saw was a young female, and she had got the kit, and everything was, it wasn't black and white, but the old colors, the browns and the beiges. And she was about to put her kit together, and I was like, wow. They had people doing that. If I were to put, my daughters wouldn't even let their kid near a soldering iron these days. And back then, that's just something that you did, right? Over?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you had to know how to solder, and my father-in-law didn't know anything about electronics, but he managed to put this whole thing together. It kind of amazed me, but
Yes.
What bricks, I guess, were tubes. I think he must have had tubes. I can't remember what that kit was, but it was a sideband, a couple of 100 watts. So I guess there were tubes in it. Let's see, that goes back to the mid-70s. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, I'm dating myself, but yeah, that's the way they were then. Anyway, I'm kind of listening and watching the Bluetooth as well. YouTube on the Bluetooth. So I'll let you go. Like I say, you got to practice those two words. But I say, write them down and put a big extra over.
Roger that. So that was roll over and dash, dash, dash. Did I copy that correctly, Did I copy that correctly? Roll over and then dash, dash, dash? Oh, Devin's on there.
Roll over or reset would be probably preferable. And on the side there's standing by. And by the way, I guess when you finish the conversation, you say 7-3 because that's basically best wishes. And most of, if you had been on HF a long time ago, you would have realized that that is usually the term that is, or the term, the two letters that you will, or that you will learn to send at the end of QSO. So you would say 7-3, and that's the end of it.
All right, QSL, thank you for that, and I'll start practicing with that stuff. Now over to VA3FZ with your comment. Please come now.
Whenever you, that AllStar thing you were talking about, whenever you figure out where you're getting whatever it is, can you post a link to it so I can see what you're looking at? I'm looking at a different version which uses a Raspberry Pi, which I already have. I just don't have the transmitter part of it. So I'm not sure which is going to be cheaper to build or buy it. And do you already have your, I don't think it's a node number possibly, or a server number or something? If you don't have that, I heard it takes up to 3 days to get it registered. That's the only thing that would be slow from what I've learned this morning anyway. Back to you.
Yeah, VA3FZ, VA3WV returning, yeah. So, Rob, I just knew these names. When I would hear the repeaters popping on Sunday nights, it was so exciting to me because you'd hear all these different repeaters, like logging in. And some people have them sound like the Darth Vader voices, and some say, by your command, And then there's one that keeps saying, failed to connect, right? But about 5 or 10 minutes before these big nets like the TransCanada Net and the Procom Net come over, you hear all these things lighting up and connecting to each other. And it was just stuff in the background. I was just waiting to talk and have my turn when they call our time. Now when it broke down, that's when all heck broke loose, because I was like, wait a minute, And we have folks that work on our equipment, and they get it turned around very quickly. So hats off to that. But this time, we don't have an ETA, right? So when you don't have an ETA, you never know how long it's going to be. Now, Rick's talking about rollover, so let me roll this over, and I'll be right back. Before I go on, let's everybody say good morning to Devin, VE1DXW. He's out there on Facebook saying good morning. He's getting ready to go to physio. He hopes everybody has a great day and a good weekend. So thank you, Devin, for popping in. Devin would be here with us today if we had Echolink, because he likes to log in from Nova Scotia from Echolink. And Kimberly, VE3KKA, saw me out there, and she loves to log in from Windsor. She's a new ham, just got her basic with honors, and she's also dabbling into FT8 just out the box, Had no equipment, went and bought her a radio ICOM of some sort, and she's already out there doing FT8. She says after she went and picked her radio and the laptop off the ground after she threw it out the window. Anyway, let me just pause for a quick second to see if anybody else is out there before I continue on. We've had 6 check-ins this morning looking for number 7. Could that be you? VA3EWV listening. Okay, so back over to answering a question for VA3FZ. And also, if anybody ever gets called back off to work or whatever, this is being live streamed, so you can just go back, look at what time you had to leave, and then just fast forward to that spot and keep on going. So yeah, raspberry pies, cherry pies, apple pies, pecan pies, all these pies out there, and I'm like, oh my God. Because, you know, I didn't think I would ever want to do any of that stuff. Like, you know, changing brakes and changing oil and stuff like that was never anything I wanted to do. I'll go to a place to do it, right? But now that this has happened, I'm like, oh my God. I bought myself a soldering iron. This might be something cool for me to do. But then if I mess it up, I messed up $100 worth of stuff because I've never really soldered anything, right? So I'll be having my first project and burning through boards and stuff because I'm not, you know, don't have all the equipment. Because I see these people with all these little stands that you have these little clips that is holding things and big magnifying glasses and different types of tips, different type of heat and different type of solder, and you know, because they've been doing it for 100 years, so they got everything they need, right? I have a little kit that I got from the gas station, the truck stop over there by the 401, right? And it looks dinky as it is, but I don't want to be burning no pies up, you know, trying to use it. So let me roll this over. I think that's what he said to say, and I'll be right back. Yeah, so Rob, I was on a website last night, and I think I bookmarked it. I hope I marked it. And what they do, oh, it's on my phone. But you can buy an AllStar node. So you don't even have to do a Raspberry Pi. And man, the stuff I saw, there's one that they sell a Veilfang radio, and where the little flashlight is at the top, the guy has modified that, taking the flashlight out. There's a cable coming through that connects to a USB thing or whatever it connects to. And they sell the whole thing, they said, like for $60 US. And then you can do that. And so to answer your question, because I went digital right off the hop, I have my Echolink thing. I had already signed up and registered for that. I have my DMR number. That's a 302 number. When I was given my D-Star radio, I signed up for the D-Star thing, so I already have that. And then for the AllStar thing, I signed up last night for that as we speak, because I was reading through all the stuff and it says you have to have it. I started doing that once I found out that I did not have to be an advanced person. And I also did because I found out that you can just have one for yourself and not connect it to a repeater, right? So this is going to be my own that will allow me to connect up to other people. Over.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking to see about. I think tonight when I get home, I'm going to figure out what to sign up for the AllStar thing, because I have the Echolink. The DMR, I don't have the DMR, but I'll wait and see what happens with that. But I'll let you get back to KCB, and I'll be listening on the side. VA3, that's it.
All right, fair. And I know you're at work there, so I'll be posting some links for you and tag your name on it. But I'm at node.ventures.com. Nodeventures.com. That's where I'm at now. And it says here, before you can operate on the digital network, you must apply for a digital ID, right? Just like you were saying. And they said also you have to register for an account of Brand Master, so I've already done that. And then they go on to say that you have to register for your Echolink, and I've done that. So I'm already ahead of the game when it comes to that. And it even gives you screenshots on how to go and how to register that stuff. So they walk you through that. So I messaged the person who runs that. I sent them an email, told them my story and stuff like that. And then they have the store there, and they have the different type of ones. So it's not bad. They offer a VHF mode. It's called a clear node. So one's UHF and one's VHF, right? Now, I don't think they're pricey. They're $355. I don't think that's a lot. I mean, I don't think it's a lot. Because I got a house full of Tupperware, so I can always sell some Tupperware. And it says that it's, the clear note is Raspberry Pi based. But you have AllStar, Echolink, DMR, P25, YSF, FCS, NXDN, Simplex node with an integrated low power FM radio transceiver. So you can use your analog FM handy talkie to work AllStar, Echolink, and other digital modes. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, thanks. I'll be looking at that later on.
No problem. We'll let you go. I'm just going to keep on just talking here just for anybody else who's listening. They said they can deliver to you pre-configured or unconfigured, your choice. And you can use the free companion mobile app on your iOS and Android. So I was like, yes. Because there's so many great things out there. Everybody who's listening on the radio and on Facebook, there's so many great things out there. But you know, Android has their stuff going on. Unfortunately, I'm not an Android user, but I did ask my wife 2 weeks ago could I start using her older phone. Because I started finding a lot of stuff that they don't have for Apple. Anyway, let's move on there. We are having check-ins today from VA3KCB, VA3FZ, VA3MJW on Facebook, VA3ARF, Rob, who was out of the server reach by now probably. We have VA3BSD, who's on there with his buddies on Skype. VA3 Echo Victor, Rick, that was listening in too, and had some comments. And now we're looking for number 7. Could that be you on the air with VA3EWV on our TGIF Friday? Please come down. Okay, it's 8:40 a.m. Does anybody here today? Rick has his handy talkie, but Rob, I know you're gone on the side, but did you ever get the national calling frequency put into your radio over? I did not hear that yesterday.
I got the wrong microphone. Yeah, I had them. I put them in when I reprogrammed this radio here, but that's not. It's analog or not analog. It's just the simplex frequency. I just go into manual mode, punch it in whatever one I'm looking for. I put in a few of them so that I can trip over them if it's scanning through it.
Okay, Roger, and I looked yesterday, and I saw that you were in there at about 35 watts. So we got you down. I just have to make sure that, well, I don't really have to make sure. I think it's just good practice if you're a ham just to have that stuff in. I knew nothing about it, and I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just like, just doing my public service, I guess you could say. But I would like to try testing some more of that next week. We already have you tested. We didn't get to get Rick in there yesterday, so probably next week sometimes we can try Rick with your handy talkie and your mobile and see if that's set up for you there. Over.
I'm willing to try with the handy talkie. I think it's because I'm down in a hole here right on the water that I wasn't able to simplex you guys yesterday.
Yeah, it could be. When I was down there on the water talking on that FHA, I couldn't be heard for nothing, right? And so I pumped up the wattage to 30 watts to try to hit the repeater, and he said it was a little bit better, but it's not until I got away from the river. And that's odd because what I've been seeing on all these videos and stuff lately about people doing all these DXs and on the airs and parks on the airs and islands on the air and all this stuff on the air, it seems like you're at the golden pinnacle if you're by water, right? But it doesn't seem to work like that for repeater stuff, only for I don't know. Somebody might be able to explain that later on, but from what I've seen over the last 2 weeks, I don't know how that works out. But yeah, hey, if you are ready to just do a quick test before we run out of time, if you want to do a quick test and pop over to the national caller frequency on VHF, we can try it if you want to put it into your radio there. Over.
So you're going to 146,520?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but if that's it, yes, that's what I'm going to. Remember I said I have it already on that other channel, and thank you for telling me about that master whatever. I have a program as a on P6 on my radio. I press that and it'll put me over to it. But yes, let me go see what it is. I have it on the web here somewhere, and then I'll come back and I'll confirm, and then we'll go over. Okay, I'll be right back.
146,520 is correct.
Okay, there you have it, 146,520. So I'm going to QSY over there right now. Give you a couple minutes, and then I'll see if I can hear you. Okay, that's QSY on over there. Oh shit, I don't have it on there. Ah! Oh, there we go. 146,520. There we go. Oh, I heard him, but he's way off in the woods. Yeah, VA3KCB, I did hear you. It's very off in the woods there, but I did hear you coming in. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. I'm pushing 45 watts, though, on the base station. 40 foot up on a 10-foot antenna. Let me know if you can hear me okay. VA3EWV. VA3EWV, can you read me over if you came to tag along?
I was playing with the squelch, I didn't quite hear you. Were you talking to me on VA3SX?
Yeah, Rob, I was talking to you. I hear you in there pretty clear. But I can hear VA3KCB, but he's way off in the distance there. Hey, what part of town are you located in?
I'm at the very north end of town, just off a headline. When you go towards St. Andrews, it's the last crossroads before St. Andrews.
Okay, well, we'll QSY back over there because I think I heard him calling on SVC. Okay, well, I'll meet you back over at SVC, okay? FZ?
VA3KCB standing by.
Yeah, I'll meet you over there.
And VA3KCB, I've heard, hey, I'm excited to let you know a couple of things. I was talking on on that national calling frequency because Rob had came over. He was just in his squelch. I did hear you in there, but then I thought I was hearing you better, and I was sitting there trying to talk to you, but you were back on SVC. So this dual thing works both ways. If I'm on the bottom channel, I can hear the top, but this is the first time I've ever heard that. Anyway, back over to you, KCB. Could you hear us? Over.
No, unfortunately I didn't hear either one of you. I did call out a couple of times and I heard nothing. I'm just suspicious that where I am, I'm so low, I'm on a portable, so I have virtually not much power, and I'm right behind that five-story apartment building that they're building near the condos, which is directly north of you. That's between me and you. So I think I'm just caught in a hole. I'll have to try from my home because my house is 78 feet higher than where I'm sitting right now.
Okay, yeah. And you know what? This is the reason they have repeaters, right? So, you know, if we were all going around simplex, these are the issues that we would face, you know? So a couple of people thought at first that I was going to try to move to simplex only. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to test it out to see how it works, right? And not only that, once we get comfortable with testing out this one, I wouldn't mind seeing if UHF, what kind of impact it has on UHF, right? So are you at that same place and can't get on VHF, but you're at the same place that you are now, but you can get on UHF, right? That's just, so I'm just curious about it, how that works. And hopefully we can find those things out next week, over.
Yeah, I copy that. I do have one comment on the repeater. Like right now we're using SVC. The unfortunate part is now that we've come over to SVC for the past couple of days, example, one of the fellows that are on here every day, now he's not going to be able to communicate as well, and that's ARF. You know, it makes me wonder if, like, I think we've got to decide before we get too deep into this, which is the best repeater for the largest coverage. And if that's PGC, then I'm just wondering if we just stick to PGC and just wait for the Echolink to get repaired.
Oh, let me clarify some things real fast. PGC, it's operational. There's nothing wrong with the repeater at all. It's just that it's members only at the moment. If you go to the website, it says members only. So there are a lot of people that are here that aren't members of the club. So if we go there, then they wouldn't be able to talk. So that's why I had picked, hold on a second. At the same site, you have VE3VSW, and it's still UHF. It's on the same site. So that's why I had chose that one at first for coverage, but it was causing some issues to some people there, eh? So I just wanted to make sure I cleared up the thing. And let me just go back and check 1 second. I'll be right back, folks. Just give me 5 minutes. Well, not 5 minutes. Give me a couple seconds. I'm going to see if it still says the same on the website. I'll be right back.
I was just thinking the same thing too, Rick. Like when Rob's trying to check in this morning, I know that he runs north of here. And the Cornwall repeater used to have awesome coverage. And since they revamped the hospital, I don't know what the deal is, but it doesn't have the coverage it used to.
I copy that, Rob. I don't I guess I'm kind of old new, at getting back into the club, but I would assume, I thought SVC, why would that not be members only also then? What differentiates the Bonneville site from the Cornwall site? I guess I'm missing that link.
I'm not sure. I wasn't at a meeting or anything to do with that. That's the technical thing. I know yesterday that site was down. Both the repeaters, the 443 and the 442, because I was programming this radio and trying to chunk it, and it wasn't working. And then last night when I was at home, it was working again. So they're working on something there. I know that. But we'll find out soon enough. You have to be patient, eh? Things don't happen overnight, especially with the new COVID shipping policies. Wait longer than you used to wait, and wait some more.
Well, you got that right. There's no doubt about that. All right, Ernest, back to you.
Yes, VA3EWV returning. Yeah, on the SVRC.ca website, it says current and scheduled repeater outages. So this is something that's always there. The club does amazing work. We've had antennas, for the people who are members of the club, we've had antennas that have been updated. We've had things with more coverage. This has been a very exciting summer, spring and fall. I got to go to a couple of these sites and watch things in the flesh, right, and see how things work behind the scenes. And we have it going on around here, right? And we all know things do break, so that's no big deal with that. It says here, though, current and scheduled repeater outages. This is public information, so I'm not reading from anything private. It says the the Asterisk AllStar node, Echolink node on V3 PGCL on the repeater is unavailable until further notice. The repeater itself is operating normally, but available to members only at this time, right? So that's what it says. So since that's the situation, there's people that I'm talking to like right now that aren't members of the club. So I can say, hey, you want to join the club? You know, that's great. We could do that. We can always use new members, but some of these people don't live in the area, right? So my next thing was, heck, I'll buy memberships and just pass them out for birthday, Christmas presents. Hey, you got a membership? You got a membership? But you know, I didn't know about. You know, I didn't want to get into all that. But since it says members only at this time, I was like, well, then you know, I won't be able to talk to certain people if they're not a member, eh? So that's why I just chose not to do that thing. And if you look at your sheet, let me just roll this. I think I'm saying it right. I'll be right back. It says, because there's 8 repeaters on the repeater sheet there, that's again public, I'm not reading anything private. It says operated or sponsored by, right? So there are 8 repeaters on there that are operated or sponsored by, right? And some of these things are property of personal people, right? So when I was looking at those UHF, this is to FZ there, when I was looking at that website that says that these things are available for UHF and VHF, what I want to do is purchase 2 of these, one for VHF, one for UHF, for the main, like for the club's main stuff, right? And then we can have some backup. So if something goes down. Now, I want to just say this, and it goes to your question about 220. I don't know if I need to roll over, but I want to get this out, and then it'll make more sense and give some clarity. 1 second.
Stop using rollovers.
What's it called again, Rick?
Stop using rollovers.
Okay, but what do you call it when you have to stop?
I don't know, but I found these results.
Setting the timer to say standby. You don't have to say rollover or anything like that. It's like the other term, you know. I said write them down. Don't use them.
Like that song says, hard habits are hard to break. I'm going to make sure I give that out too, because I hear those people, those big net control managers using it all the time on the different things. So I'll make sure I help them out with that. Thank you though. Just like it's not 73, it's 73. See, I learned that too. And not 73s. So anyway, I was about to say something and then I forgot. But oh, yes. So let me pause. Okay, here we go. VA3EWV said, if you're still there, you said earlier, I don't know if investing in a 220 radio and spending X number of dollars is worth the hassle if nobody's on it, right? In this situation here, I think we have about 40 members, last count that I saw. If I were to say, hey, 40 members, please please do a poll. How many of you use Echolink more than 5 times a week, right? How many of you use AllStar more than 5 times a week? How many of you guys use DMR more than 5 times a week? If I were to do a poll of the paid members right now and ask them to put that stuff down, I don't think it would be 5 times a week, right? So to go out and pay, let me get back to the price here. So to go to the store and pay $355 US plus shipping and handling for a UHF node and a VHF node for us to have it, you know, for one person, I don't think that that's a good return on investment. It's good to have, because we can say we have that, right? But I don't think it'd be a good return on investment. And that being said, what is the urgency to get something like that fixed if one person uses it? Is it urgent or is it non-urgent? Is it important or is it not important, right? So that's why I was like, well, I can go get my own thing because I'm the only one using it, or I can get something for the club, right? But when I do $355, which is like $400, so $800, so that's over $1,000 with shipping and handling for two things, and then I'm the only one to use it. Is that a good return on investment? Over.
I have a comment about 220 here.
Go ahead, Rick. We can hear you in there. You said you had a comment about 220. Go ahead.
Yeah, once upon a time, 220 was 220 to 225. 220 no longer is that big. We've already lost 2 megacycles from it. And you can say is now using the first 2 megacycles of it. So if we don't use it, we will lose it. And that's the reason why we put the reducer there.
Thank you for that, VA3 Echo Victor. So if you guys couldn't hear it, because it's coming in a little low on my end, he's saying that 220 to 225 used to be the bandwidth, but we've lost 2 megacycles. So basically, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's why I make sure that I key up on it quite often there. And I even key up the one at Mount Rigaud, because I have that one. I hope I'm saying it right. Let me just check the sheet. Yes, it's VE2RM. Mount Rigaud, Quebec. I also key up on that one and identify and then wait on the side. Hey guys, you know, you look up and it's already 9 o'clock. So we've had a great hour of conversation from VA3KCB, Rick, VA3FZ, Rob, VA3MJW, Michael, VE3ARF, Rob, VA3DS, Dean, VA3 Echo Victor, and yours truly, Devin, VE1 DXW. Before we go, anybody else want to just do a quick check-in and get your name on the list? Please come now.
VE3AQE?
There he is, VA3AQE. Rick was talking about you, VA3KCB. Was, or one of them, Rob, or the other Rob. Are you in town now? Over?
Yeah, affirmative. Yeah, I had a breakfast to go to this morning there, so I'm just going to get the coffee there now. Over.
Roger that. We're glad you made it and stuff like that. Any big plans for the weekend?
Just probably some pie baking and stuff like that. We're getting ready for the holidays, little stuff like that. That's all. Working on with that stuff.
All right, we got you. We got you in there. We were also talking about coverage and stuff like that. You know, so when you come in next week, if you are able to join us next week, we want to see how far SBC is getting out because we have more coverage on PGC. But like I was telling VA3KCB at the time, if you look at the website now, they may have changed that. I'm just going by what the website shows this morning at 9:01 a.m. Some of the things are members only at this time. So, you know, I don't want to go on a thing where everybody can enjoy it and have half the people not being able to go, right? A lot of you guys have joined the club over the last 3 months. You know, if we go back 30 or 60 or 90 days, VA3KCB is not able to talk because he just got his membership recently, right? VA3AQE, when did you get your membership? Over?
Well, I've been off and on for a couple of years, Ernest, but I just reapplied again this year, probably in the middle of the summer, I think, after this frequency started to get busier in the morning. I started to hear people on the radio, and it wasn't that always dead, but it didn't bother. But so it was just recently this summer. As far as this year goes, I know if I'm in Long Sioux, you can't reach me, or I can't reach you. I don't think I'm Long Sioux. I pretty much need the PDC for that one. But other than that, once I'm in town, there's no problem with the handyman, with the portable.
Okay, that's good to hear. This is exciting stuff. You know, the repeaters keep everything moving along pretty great. But even with PGC, there's a couple people that don't have UHF radios, right? So even the Bonneville stuff, even though it's great, it only has UHF. It doesn't have any VHF. I could be mistaken, but looking back at the sheet, Bonneville shows VE3PGC, UHF, and VE3VSW, which is UHF. The only VHF I see is the digipeater there on 144.30. So, yep, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so, you know, we'll make it happen. You know, we have a couple people that are mobile and stuff like that, and we know that. You, Rob, are two of our mobile people. And with that being said, what I see all the net controls do is that they hear anybody on mobile or any short time things coming in, they get those folks right away. So that's what I'll start practicing to do with you guys. Any last comments before we close this net off this morning? VA3EWV listening. All right, I am blessed to be with guys like you with On Air with VA3EWV. This was a full packed 60 minutes of some good conversation on the TGIF Friday here. Again, to wrap it all up, we had check-ins from VA3KCB, Rick, VA3FZ, Rob, VA3MJW, Michael, VE1DXW, Devin, VA3ARF, Rob, VA3BS, Dean, VA3 Echo Victor, Rick, VA3AQE. And let me see if anybody else has joined us on Facebook. No, we had 3 call-ins from Facebook. Okay, everybody, have a great morning. 7-3 to you all. And we're returning this repeater to its normal use. Have a good weekend. All right. Oh, and Simon checked in as well. Just letting you guys know that Simon has checked in as well. All right, have a good day, everybody. VA3EWV, we're clear. Okay, folks, that's it. I was saying hi to Simon there. This has been a great day in radio. A lot of good stuff happening. We appreciate you coming in on our TGIF Friday. We're going to see you guys next week. Same time, same back channel, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. We're on VA3 SVC at the moment. It is a little hard on our people who are mobile. We've had a few people that couldn't check in today because we're on this repeater. But we will get back out there, and but there are the pros and cons to each one. A lot of people we found out don't have UHF radios at this time, so this seems to be a good avenue. I'm hoping one day, if the club agrees on it down the road, I'll make sure I bring it up in the new year, not this year though, but because I'm not working right now. But there are some additions that I want to purchase for the club to donate. Because I don't want to own it, I just want to donate it to the club. And we can get some Echolink, AllStar, and all that stuff on our VHF, because we don't have anything like that on our VHF. So, and then we can get some stuff that's owned by the club for their UHF frequencies that's not owned by anybody, right? So if something goes awry, it'll be the club to work on it. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and thanks for joining On the Air with VA3EWV. 732 y'all, and good evening, good morning, good night.